Yo champs, back again on Wrestle Scope Daily with the latest WWE talk. Don't miss out, subscribe, and let's jump in. No one expected the tribal chief to stay quiet after Jey Uso's crushing defeat. But when Roman Reigns finally spoke, his words cut through the WWE Universe like ice. I'm not happy. I'm not proud. You and me are not equal. No sympathy, no warmth, just cold dominance. In one short statement, Roman didn't just respond to Jey's loss. He reignited the war within his own family. His tone wasn't that of a mentor or a cousin. It was that of a ruler reclaiming his throne. The message was clear. Family might share blood, but not status. Roman Reigns was reminding everyone, from Jey Uso to every fan watching, who still sits at the head of the table. The night Jey Uso fell short. It all unfolded under the bright lights of Salt Lake City's Delta Center. Fans were on their feet, chanting, "Main event Jey Uso," hoping to witness a fairy tale ending. Jey had fought his way back into the spotlight, standing across the ring from CM Punk for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship. The match felt personal, emotional, almost cinematic. Jey started strong. His super kicks landed, his splashes connected, and the crowd believed redemption was finally his. But CM Punk, ever the veteran, shifted gears at just the right moment. 2 brutal go-to sleeps later, the bell rang. The dream was over. Punk stood tall, clutching the gold, while Jey sat ringside, frozen in disbelief. The story felt unfinished. The camera faded to black, but backstage, one pair of eyes was still watching. Roman Reigns. The tribal chief's message. Hours later, WWE cameras caught up with Roman backstage. The reporter asked how he felt about Jey Uso's loss. His response? 6 words that shook the internet. I'm not happy. I'm not proud. You and me are not equal. He didn't blink. He didn't soften the blow. That wasn't just a reaction. It was a declaration. Roman wasn't offering comfort. He was re-establishing dominance. He was reminding the world that even without the undisputed championship, his power is built on control, not compassion. In that moment, Roman drew a line through the Bloodline's legacy. Jey wasn't just his cousin anymore. He was a lesson. And Roman Reigns doesn't teach with kindness. He teaches with consequence. Family, loyalty, and power. To understand the sting behind those words, you have to rewind the Bloodline saga. When Roman returned in 2020, his first real challenge wasn't an outsider. It was Jey Uso himself. The two clashed in a rivalry that defined the early days of Roman's reign as tribal chief. Jey wanted respect. Roman wanted obedience. Inside Hell in a Cell, that tension exploded. Roman made Jey acknowledge him, not his family, but his leader. That night cemented both of their destinies. Roman became untouchable, and Jey became his right-hand man. For years, Jey fought alongside him, defended him, celebrated with him, but each victory cost him a piece of his own pride. When he finally broke free from the Bloodline, fans cheered. Jey Uso was free, but freedom, as it turns out, comes with its own price. Roman's ruthless reminder. Roman's "you and me are not equal" wasn't meant to humiliate. It was meant to remind. To him, Jey's loss to CM Punk proved that life outside the Bloodline meant weakness. Roman's cold statement wasn't just for Jey. It was a message to everyone who ever thought they could thrive without him. It was psychological warfare at its finest. Roman has always understood power isn't just physical, it's emotional. He doesn't just break bodies, he breaks belief. By refusing to comfort Jey, he was tightening his grip, pulling him back into the orbit he'd fought to escape. Roman was saying, "You can leave the table, but you'll always eat crumbs without me." A king without a crown. Since losing his undisputed title to Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, Roman has been noticeably absent from WWE programming. No promos, no posts, no presence. Until now, his sudden re-emergence wasn't about reclaiming gold. It was about reclaiming attention. That's Roman's brilliance. Even in silence, he commands the narrative. And when he finally speaks, he makes it count. His first words back weren't about Cody or the championship or revenge. They were about control, about reminding everyone that the bloodline might fracture, but the tribal chief remains its center. Roman doesn't chase relevance, he defines it. The bloodline under pressure. Roman's statement didn't just hit Jey. It sent ripples through his entire family. Solo Sikoa, the quiet powerhouse and Roman's current enforcer, has been walking a fine line of loyalty and independence. Roman's words could easily double as a warning to him. Meanwhile, Jey Uso, Jey's twin brother, has been trying to rebuild his image after months out of the spotlight. Hearing Roman dismiss Jey as unequal must have cut deep, because if Jey isn't equal to Roman, where does that leave Jimmy? What Roman might not realize is that every time he asserts dominance, he risks creating resentment. The bloodline's strength has always been unity, but cracks are forming, and arrogance may be the hammer widening them. Legacy, ego, and the cracks in the empire Roman reigns has built his entire persona on dominance. Even without a title, he walks like a man who owns the company. But pride can be a slow poison. Every time Roman tightens his grip, another part of his empire starts to slip. We've seen it before in wrestling history. The mighty fall not from defeat, but from arrogance. Roman's obsession with control might be the very thing that costs him everything. The Usos are divided. Solo Sikoa's loyalty is questionable. The empire looks strong on the outside, but inside, it's fracturing. The bloodline was once built on fear and respect. Now, it's sustained by tension and silence, and the louder Roman asserts dominance, the more fragile his throne becomes. Fans. React to the shockwave. Social media erupted after Roman's statement. Some fans praised him for staying true to his character, calm, ruthless, unapologetic. Others accused him of emotional manipulation, breaking Jey's spirit all over again. "Roman's cold for that," one fan wrote. "He broke Jey's heart twice." Another posted, "He's reminding everyone who still runs WWE. Love him or hate him, everyone's talking about Roman again. And that's the power of the tribal chief. Even in absence, he remains the center of conversation. The internet buzz isn't about Punk's win. It's about Roman's words. That's how he wins wars before they start. Not with punches, but with perception." The final word, Roman Reigns doesn't need a crown to rule. He is the story. Yet for the first time in years, that story feels fragile. His throne is built on loyalty, and loyalty is starting to waver. CM Punk holds the gold, Jey Uso holds the audience's heart, and Roman holds the past. Eventually, those worlds will collide. When they do, and it won't just be about who wins a title. It'll be about who defines an era. Because in the end, Roman's empire won't fall to power or betrayal. It'll fall to evolution. And Jey Uso might just be the man who forces that change. The tribal chief may still rule, but the echoes of rebellion are getting louder. And somewhere deep down, Roman knows the head of the table can't sit alone forever.